Today we're going to look at some material out of Unit 7.8. This is Formulas and Measurements. We're going to take a look at Box D, working with prisms. And we're going to try, by the end of this lesson, we should be able to find the volume and the surface area of prisms. And we should be able to solve for the unknown dimensions of objects if we're given their volume or their surface area and some other dimensions. And we'll see what that kind of means as we get a little further into this. So first off, what exactly do we mean by a prism? Well, a prism is basically any sort of 3D object. It's got a polygon for its base, so down at the bottom. It's got the same polygon up at its as its top, and its sides are vertical or perpendicular to the base. So an example is what we have right here. This is a rectangular prism. Okay, you can see that the base is, this thing that it's sitting on, is a rectangle, hence its name. Base is a rectangle. Okay. The sides go up perpendicular to the base, and up at the top, its top is a rectangle of the exact same size as the base. This is what makes it a prism. Now, for any 3D figure that has vertical sides like this, there's a general formula that you can use to find the area, or the volume, sorry. The volume is the area of the base times the height of the prism. So let's say we wanted to find the volume of this rectangular prism that we have here. First step is we figure out what kind of shape we have for the base. Well, we've already done that. We figured out the base is a rectangle. So if we wanted to figure out the area of that base, what formula would we use for the area? How do you find the area of a rectangle? Well, we know the formula is, Nicole, length times width. And then we're going to multiply that by our height, in this case. So we look at our base, our length is 5, our width is 4, so we can put those in. 5 times 4. And we see our height over here is 10. Multiply by the height. And then we just multiply these three numbers together. Length times width times height gives us 200. And then we've got to make sure we put units on our measurement here. We got 5 centimeters, 4 centimeters, and 10 centimeters. We're multiplying them all together, so our units are going to be centimeters cubed. Okay? And that's the volume of a prism. Now, rectangular prisms are pretty easy. Okay? A little bit trickier are shapes when you have to do a little bit of work to figure out what the area of the base is going to be. And probably the trickiest one of all is the triangular prism. So that's what we're going to take a look at next. Now, that picture of the triangular prism didn't show up very well, but what you can see is that, maybe I'll just go over the lines quickly here. Here's our little prism right in here like this. And I think there is a dotted line coming down like that because it's in the back. Yep. Okay, so there's our triangular prism right there. Now, remember what a prism is. It's got some sort of a shape for its base, and then it's got sides that go up sort of vertically or perpendicular to the ground. This is still a prism, except it's sitting on its side. Okay? The base is the triangle over here. Okay? And these three rectangles, here, here, and here, are the sides of the prism. So we can still use the same general formula here, though. We can use volume is area of the base times the height. What is the height of this prism if we imagine this thing turned on its side so it's sitting on this triangle? Which dimension represents the height? That's our 10 meters. Okay? So I'll just label this as height. 4, 4, and 4 all represent sides of our triangle. So we know our height. We need to figure out what is the area of the base. So what I've done is I've drawn a little picture here of a triangle that represents our base. This is 4 centimeters, 4 centimeters, and 4 centimeters. How can we figure out the area of this triangle that we have here? We know what the formula is for the area of a triangle. It's base times height divided by 2. We know what our base is down at the bottom of our triangle. That's 4 centimeters. But we don't know what the height is. The height has to go from the base right up to that vertex of the triangle. So how can we figure out what that height is in there? Well, the height is always perpendicular to our base. So if we just look at 1/2 of this triangle, we've got a little right angle triangle in there. Okay? Our hypotenuse is this side over here. Okay? Height is one of the sides that we're trying to find. We just need to figure out what this little short side here of our triangle is before we can go any further. So how long is that little short side from here to here that I've marked with that question mark? It's 2 centimeters, right? Because it's half of the base. So now we can use our Pythagorean theorem here. We can say, okay, this is our, if we label our sides hypotenuse C, this is C over here, these are A and B. We know that C squared is A squared plus B squared. Our side C is 4, so that's 4 squared. A is 2 centimeters, so 2 squared. B is this height here that we're trying to find, h squared. We can solve this for h. We'll do our order of operations. We'll do our squaring first. 16 equals 4 plus h. I want to get that h squared. I want to get the h squared all by itself, so I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides to get 12 equals h squared. So what's that h going to be? Well, if I'm going to find h, what do I have to do to that 12? I've got to, what do I have to do? Abby, yeah. Not divide by 2. What's the opposite of squaring? It's take the square root, right? Square root of 12. So let's see, the square root of 12 here is 3.46. Okay, that was a lot of work, but now we have the area of our, the height of our triangle. Why did we do this? Because we wanted to find the area of the base. So let's find the area of our base here. We know that the area is going to be, again, base times height divided by 2. The base of our triangle is 4. The height of our triangle is 3.46 that we just calculated. We want to divide all that by 2. So we punch this into our calculator. 4 times 3.46 divided by 2. And we get the area is 6.92 centimeters squared. But we're still not done. The whole point of finding the area of the base was so we could find the volume. So our volume is the area of the base times the height. So we found out that our area of our base is 6.92 centimeters squared. The height of our prism, 10 meters. I'm sorry. This should be in meters, not centimeters. Let me fix that. Sorry, meters squared. And then down here, this should be meters squared as well. And we've got that one last multiplication to do. 6.92 times 10 gets us 69.2 meters cubed. Okay. And that is my final volume there. And even though I said cubed, I wrote squared. Let me change that to cubed. Okay. And there we are, the volume of the triangular prism. First we had to find In order to find the volume, we needed the area of the base. To get the area of the base, we needed to figure out the height of that triangle using the Pythagorean theorem.